suppose I
you.
really do need to find some job. I'll find mutt without you, you stuck-up Lord of Perkstein.
Hey, over here. Are you going to...
What do you want from me?
I don't want anything from you. I should actually be thanking you.
Uh-huh. For what?
I've been begging for alms here for days, but I didn't make any real coin till today. And that's thanks to you. The scene you made brought out nearly all of Troskowitz.
You're welcome. At least it was good for something.
Oh well, not many people can make such a strong first impression. But look on the bright side. Now things can only get better.
Yes, you're probably right. It doesn't get much worse than that. Unless somebody tries to kill me. Again.
You're still alive in one piece. It's a new day and the sun is shining. Like Tomcat always says, bruises build character.
Hey, you. What's your name, anyway? What do you do?
I'm Bara. Just Bara.
Looks like you know your way around here pretty good. You're from here, right?
I ain't. I'm just passing through.
You're something like a wanderer.
Nah, I usually find work with someone, stay for a while, and once I save a bit, I move on.
Then why are you begging here?
Sometimes I collect herbs for the apothecary or help in the tavern, but I'd like to go somewhere else, so I'm scraping up whatever I can. But on the whole, you could say I'm a traveller or a nomad, but don't say it too loud. The locals don't take kindly to them.
Why?
Because they're different, and it scares people. They travel from place to place and take their home with them.
I'd like to see what their homes look like.
You can go and see them, just don't stare too long.
Where are you headed? If you're only passing through here.
For work, to the city. I'm tired of serving landholders. They all promise the moon, but then you're eating stale bread, cold porridge, and a nary a groschen in sight. With the city folk, it's bound to be better.
You said you were going to a city. You mean like to Prague? Or somewhere further?
I'd like to go to Prague, but I don't know anybody there. In Kuttenberg, at least I have a cousin.
Aha. So you're going to visit her?
Well, she doesn't know it yet. But I won't be troubling her long, just until I find a way to make a living.
Why exactly are you helping me?
Why? Why? Because you look like you need it. I've been in the ship plenty of times, and I know how appreciated a helping hand is in times like that.
What do you want to do in the city?
I'll find something. I'm not afraid of work. I'm not half-witted. Maybe someone could use a cook or a servant.
Don't get your hopes up. The city can be a pretty dangerous place for a girl on her own.
You mean they don't hand out groschen by the bucketful? And the streets aren't full of roasted stuffed geese? I appreciate your concern, but I have to get to the city first. That's going to take me a long while yet.
Do you know anything more about Tomcat?
They say he's a master swordsman, but a real joker too. He loves showing off to girls.
Do you think Tomcat might teach me a few of his tricks?
No offence, but compared to him, you're a bit of a lightweight.
I don't want to pull wagons, but if he can handle a weapon, I'd be happy to train a little with him.
Well, one of the guards tried to take him on and came back whipped like a dog, moaning like he'd been broken in two.
Well, sure. If he's that strong, I'm not surprised.
More like some trick he's got that our watch doesn't know. Or at least that's what the poor man said.
Where might I run into Tomcat?
In the camp by the tower. That is, by Rock Tower Pond. He watches the camp for the nomads.
Should I watch out for them?
No, I don't think so. They mind their own business, but strangers usually mean trouble for them, so they're careful. Try not to stare too hard and hold your tongue, otherwise Tomcat will show you some of his other skills.
how does he show off for the girls?
With his muscles. He breaks logs with his hands. He even let himself be run over by a loaded hay wagon. Crazy. But to be fair to him, he sometimes helps people. Stanislav's sheep fell into a pit one time.
And Tomcat pulled it out?
And, not just that, he crawled down to get it. And when he found the poor thing had a broken leg, he carried it on his back all the way home.
I'm practically naked. Nobody's going to want to even talk to me like this.
At least you're not walking around bare-assed. Although that might not be a sorry sight.
Ah, very funny. I'd rather you tell me where I might get some clothes.
And what do you have in mind? Brocade and satin, a monk's robe, or perhaps Sir Brunswick's armour?
I could use some armour. Proper, like, for a night. And no rusty junk.
And you are like a knight?
Well, yeah. I don't look so good. But I swear I came here in armour, sword at my side, and on a horse.
Wow. And where is your armour, sword, and horse now?
That's a long story. And it's not a happy tale.
Well, you can hardly buy new armour now, but you might find something in the town hall armoury, although you'll need quick hands.
Thanks. These'll come in handy.
Just don't get yourself caught again.
Oh well. It was nice to meet you, but I should probably get going. Get a job, and so on.
Don't worry, you'll manage. Till we meet again.
Greetings to you.
God grant you health.
Welcome. You can buy everything you need from me, but excuse the selection. A few days ago, when I was returning with new goods, the horse got spooked and my wagon tipped into the pond. I salvaged some things, but the rest is now in the pond.
Were there any valuables in there?
You bet. Lord Simeon ordered all sorts of delicacies and precious spices from me for the wedding feast. And for Taylor Bartishak, I was carrying expensive fabrics to make dresses for the occasion. If you only knew how much coin I spent on this.
And where did the wagon tip?
On the roads near the Katchak Pond, beyond Jelioff. You can still find it there. I can't tell you how much it still pisses me off. But what can I do?
I'm sorry to hear that.
Me too. But what can I do? So, what will it be?
I wanted to ask you, what's on the other side of that nearest hill? I'm not from here, and I'd like to get my bearings. You look like a merchant to me, so you probably know best.
Ja, natürlich, you're not from here. Everyone around here knows that, after what happened in Betty's Tavern. Aber das ist deine Sache. That is your business, lad. Also, what do you want to know?
Can I find other merchants around here?
Zum Glück nicht, junger Mann. I'm the only merchant here around, Trusky. Oh, natürlich. There are plenty of tradesmen here who sell their goods. There is Bartosz, the tailor. He lives at the other end of the village. The apothecary, Emmerich, lives across from me. They are hand in glove, or more like hat in hat.
What do you mean by that?
Nichts weiter. Just that they play at being educated men. Along the scribe Geibel, they are always studying some Latin tracts. But of the three, perhaps only Geibel knows Latin, if he really does at all.
Is there anyone else here?
Oh ja. Beyond the tailor's house on the edge of the village is where Bashka the butcher lives. Opposite the Rathaus is the carpenter. The rest of the villagers are just peasants, and you are already familiar with the tavern.
Where can I find a church round here? I'm surprised you don't even have a small chapel in the village.
If you want. Die Rettung deiner Seele, junger Mann. You have to go through the forest to Aujetz and to St. Catherine. Herr von Berger does have a chapel in his castle, but it's not for commoners like you. We do not go there either. Und warum auch? The gravedigger Ignatius takes care of burials outside the village, and weddings usually take place without a local priest. No one wants to pay the church more than they have to. Das ist ja wohl klar.
Where do you go for wares? What's the closest town?
The closest is Sobotka, the biggest Gichin, what you call Gichin. And farther north there is Turnov. Half of that one belongs to Herr von Bergo.
Is it far?
Das kommt darauf an. It takes all day on foot. Wenn du was brauchst, the goods I have here will have to do you. I do not think you will get to the town anytime soon.
Is there anything I should avoid around here?
Certainly. Stirring up trouble and sticking your nose into other people's business. Here in the village, we don't care much for outsiders. If any do come, they better behave.
I understand that, but we were ambushed by bandits. So I wanted to ask if you know anything about that.
Ach so, ich verstehe. The woods have been full of all manner of rebel recently. That is all because of the war. Verdammte Schurken.
So you've already heard about these bandits?
About those ones in particular, or about others. They are all just gleichen Scheißkerle. Every time I go to the town, the bailiff must send an armed escort with me. It makes life difficult.
So the roads aren't safe?
Ja, das kann man wohl sagen. Herr von Bergo should do something about it at last. But Herr Otto spends more time in Prague than here. And Chamberlain Ulrich... Ach, lassen wir das. Bis bald, mein Freund.
Greetings.
Good morning, lad.
I heard you could use a helping hand at the forge.
I could. My last two hands, well, they're not worth mentioning. And what with the wedding coming up, the work is piling up. Ah, what do they call you?
Henry.
I'm Radovan. You should know, Henry. The blacksmithing isn't for everyone. Have you done it before?
Yeah. I basically grew up in the forge. My father was a swordsmith, and not just any. He even forged swords for the nobility.
For the nobility, eh? Well, that kind of experience will come in very handy for me indeed. As it happens, I have to forge a wedding present for young Lord Semine. A fine sword.
So you'll take me on?
Hold your horses. I'll have to try you out first. You could forge me a hunting sword as a test, so I can see if you can make a straight blade. That shouldn't give you much trouble if your father was a swordsmith, should it?
Sure thing. I can get started right away.
Great. Find some iron and get started then.
Iron?
You can't make a sword out of butter, but if you don't have your own stuff, you can get everything from the chest in my forge. Go over to the anvil and let's get started. Furnace is cold now. Give it a practice try. Some things, like swords, are too long to fit in the fire. You have to heat it up, but try poking it around for a bit. Now get the furnace nice and hot. There's a lever above it. Give it a pull. It works better. You can tell the temperature by the color, but you won't be able to tell when it's in the fire. You have to take it out from time to time and take a look. Try it out. See? That's exactly the straw color we want. You've got talent, lad. Now heat up the whole thing. The whole thing is heated up now, so come over to the anvil. Try moving the sword along the anvil so you can get the hang of it. Now take the hammer and try hitting it a few times. See the sparks? That's the sign of a good strike. The more sparks, the better. Also, you can hammer with different degrees of power. A stronger hit will do more, but it'll tire you out faster. Try giving it a few blows, as hard as you can, so I can see how strong you are. That's got a nice ring to it. Of course, if it was all about hitting an anvil with a hammer, any dolt could do it. You've got to hammer the workpiece evenly. One hit next to the other. Very nice. You're doing just fine. But when I say evenly, I mean it. The sword has two sides, like a lot of other things, including myself. Turn it over and continue on the other side. Nice. Now try forging it on both sides. The closer it is to being finished, the more it will take on the shape you want. It'll cool off soon anyway. It's cooled now. You can't do it all in one go. You've got to put it back in the furnace from time to time. Sometimes you've got to go there and back all day. But it's all part of the craft. Now, Get back to the forge and heat it all up again, like before. The whole thing is heated up now, so come over to the anvil. See that? Besides the sparks, you can tell a good strike by the sound it makes. Well struck. See how it's taking on the right shape? That's how you can tell it's almost finished. Now, I've got a piece of advice for you. Hammer to a rhythm. When I hammer a piece to a beat, the work goes by easier. Sometimes I'll whistle to myself to keep the rhythm going. That's the ring you want. There you go. You've got it finished. All that's left is to temper it, and the sword will be done. The rest is just tweaking. Right. Let's have a look. Very nice work. Your father taught you the trade well.
He'd certainly be happy to hear that.
If you carry on hammering as well as you did today, you've definitely got a job here. Even so, keep in mind, it's all about making sure every strike does its job. That's why you can't let it get cold, or keep striking the same spot. If you work evenly, each strike falling right next to the last one, you can't go wrong. Got that? Or is there something else you want to ask about?
What good does it do me to whistle while I work?
It makes you work to a rhythm. You won't get tired so quickly, and the iron feels it.
Thanks. That's all I need to know.
You can sleep in the chamber by the woodshed, and there's a chest where you can keep your things. And of course, you can use the forge anytime you want. Any questions?
Where can I get materials?
You can buy some essentials from me, but if you want to make a fancy sword with lots of ornamentation, you'll have to look elsewhere. This is just a village, you know. The locals ain't after luxury, and they can't afford it neither.
What now?
What do you think? You're not going to be idle. I'll find you some work to do right away. You're pretty good at swords, but what the locals really need is axes and horseshoes. Right, here are some simple drawings that show what they're both supposed to look like. And some iron. You can get down to it right away.
Just like that? You aren't going to help me?
Sacre, lad. I chose you because you already know a thing or two. I'm not going to look over your shoulder all bloody day. You take care of these smaller jobs. Forge away as long as you're able, and then sell it all. Once you've made some coin and feel like being out in the open again, I'll give you some more interesting work. Fucking steel.
What's the hold up, innkeeper?
My God.
Greetings
what
to you.
now?
I wish you a pleasant morning.
How are you doing? I'm Henry.
Nice to meet you. I'm Zdeněk. I'm a storyteller. I could tell you stories so sad they'd make the devil cry. Or would you prefer something so scary it'll make the hairs on your ass turn white? But it's a lot of hard work for me. Now, if you had something to drink or a couple of groschen, that might help loosen my tongue.
How can I know if it'll be worth it?
If you don't believe me, ask anyone. They all know me in the village, and they all know I'm good.
So they all sing your praises, even if you stutter?
You know what? Go to hell. You can bugger right off if you're looking to insult me. But if you want to listen, you better cough up some coin.
You know what? I think I'd rather come back another day.
Oh, aye.
God.
Farewell.
why?
What would you like?
What's new around here?
Vostatek. Lord von Beregov's huntsman is a regular here. He might have some work for you. He's got a cottage near Vidlak Pond. So if you know your way around the woods, you could go and offer him your help. I hope he hasn't started drinking somewhere else. He's my best customer. You could also stop by and see Old Mouth. He's the local storyteller. He could tell you all sorts of interesting things, but only if you bring him some liquor. Don't forget, I have some here to sell, if you want. I'm working on a little practical joke myself. We have this little dispute with the Gelievites. You might be interested. And that's all I'd say.
Sounds interesting. Thank you, innkeeper. I'll have a look at the wares.
Maybe next time then.
You're having problems with the Gelievites?
Not just me, my friend. They're the biggest bastards around. They've been nothing but trouble for years. The winter before last, they piled snow in front of everyone's doors at night, so no one could get out of their house. And last year,
They broke into my cellar and pissed in my beer barrel.
Gracious. I hope you got your aim back on them.
Not yet, no. But since you're here, I've got a plan you could help me out with. I'd pay you well. You can count on that.
What exactly would you like me to do?
Don't worry. I won't make you do any shoveling or pissing anything. But I'll tell you exactly what I have in mind, only after you promise to help me. I'd hate to reveal my plan, only for you to go off and tell the Gelievites right away.
Well, if you've got it all figured out, why don't you do it yourself?
Right. And who's going to run the inn in the meantime, eh? Besides, everyone in Gelioff knows us. If someone from here shows up there, they'll get suspicious.
All right, I'll help you.
Listen up then. Old Olbram, the owner of the biggest plot of land in Gelioff, has this beautiful bull. White as snow he is, the finest animal far and wide. Obviously, he's very proud of it. Very protective too. Now you, will give his beautiful snow-white bull a nice new coat of paint. Olbram is going to lose his mind. Simple, right?
Painting a bull, eh? That sounds like fun.
Right. We just have to work out a few details. First, we have to get some paint. I don't reckon we'll be able to get any here in the village, but you can try and ask Bartoszek, the tailor in Trotskovitz. I hear he dyes his own fabric. And after that, we'll have to make sure the bull stays still while you're painting it. Try asking Radovan, the local blacksmith. I hear he can make some kind of sleeping potion. If you pour it in the bull's water trough, I'm sure it'll do the trick. But watch out. That beast is enormous. You'd better put at least 3 doses of the potion in there.
All right then. Olbram's bull will be getting a new coat of paint.
Olbram's going to lose his mind. I can't wait. And remember, it's supposed to be a joke. If you get caught or something goes wrong, the whole thing will be ruined.
Right. So I need paint, sleeping potions, and to not get caught. Why do you and the Gelioff lot hate each other so much, anyway?
It's their fault. They keep playing tricks on us. Olbram's the worst of them all. The nasty old codger. He's always coming up with ways to mess with us. He's the one that stole our pasture.
What pasture did they steal from you?
The one that stretches from the orchard behind the Takov down to the gamekeeper's lodge. It's been ours since time immemorial, but the Gelievites took it from us.
And how did they take it from you? You can't exactly stuff a pasture in your purse and walk away with it.
Save the jokes, will you? This is fucking serious. There's a tree down by the gamekeeper's lodge that marks the edge of our land. My father, God rest his soul, was there when they agreed on it. He got a proper ass kicking so he'd remember it, and remember it he did. But then fucking Olbram came along, claiming it was the other way round, and that pasture belonged to Gelioff.
Well, can't you all just reach some kind of agreement?
Do you think we haven't tried? But there's no talking to the Gelievites. Year after year we meet in that pasture. I tell it like it was, but Olbram always starts spewing his lies. Then we end up arguing until the sun sets. And when the Gelievites are at wit's end, they come at us, and nothing ever gets solved. We managed to convince them to at least give us back half the pasture. But I know the whole bloody thing belongs to us. We can't just leave things like this.
Have you tried asking Lord von Burgov for help?
Of course, but he'd have none of it. He said it's up to the Trotskovitz bailiff to sort it out. But the bailiff couldn't care less. He said we should deal with Olbram ourselves, or he'll have us caned and clapped in the pillory.
Careful.
Good day to you.
It's filthy again. Damn it.
It's about those two idiot hands of mine, Venser and Franzi. They drove off with a cart full of goods towards Semine, and they never came back.
Do you want me to find them?
Just so. But more importantly, I want to know where my cart ended up, and especially the cargo. Go to Semine and find out what the bloody hell happened.
Have you any idea which way they might have gone? I could have a look along the way. Maybe their cart broke down or something.
There's only one road to Semine that can take a cart. It leads from Takov to Troskovitz, and then to the south. But I've got a bad feeling they got up to no good in Semine.
All right. I'll get right on it then.
Go ahead. And if you find that pair of fools drunk, kick their asses for me.
Gladly. I'll kick some sobriety into them.
glass. Welcome, my good man. Karl von Unterbrick is the name.
I'm Henry. Are you German?
No. Why? Should I be?
Well, you've got a German face.
Honest looking, eh?
Yes. And do you live here? Under the bridge?
You envy me, eh?
Of course. It's a real palace.
Well, don't even think about it. It's my bridge. And now you're here. Do you want to buy something?
You're selling something?
Of course. Gifts from heaven.
Gifts from heaven? What do you mean?
Just what I said. You're a bit slow, aren't you? When folks go home from the tavern, often as not they're pissed as a newt. And from time to time they drop something. Or even throw something down here. All nice stuff it is. See for yourself.
What do you have for sale?
Take care then, and thanks for nothing.
That sound?
What the fuck is this supposed to mean?
Huh? Now you're going to get it! No, you don't.
Dead. And robbed of everything, just like Capon left him. And there's no trace of Mutt. Oh, a nice bit of venison. And something took a good bite of it. Could Mutt have been here? Mutt's nowhere around. Someone must have taken him in. It's not far to the herb woman's place. Maybe I should ask her whether she's seen him.
Unusual for her to be gone so long.
Have you seen a stray dog around? I thought he was dead, but he's likely still alive.
I'm sorry. I haven't seen any dogs around.
Oh, Sakra. Do you have any idea where else he might have gone?
If I were a dog, I'd go to where there's food. There are plenty of fishermen around the pond, and they're always throwing out leftovers at the tavern.
Do you think he'd go and steal leftover food?
I don't know much about dogs. He could have run into the woods and started hunting. He wouldn't be the first or the last. There's a whole pack of wolves near Samine these days. Maybe your dog's gone feral and is running around with them.
Thanks. Has something happened?
My daughter, Pavlena. Remember her? She was here when I was healing you two.
I remember. What's wrong with her?
She's missing. It's not like her to be wandering around like that. She goes to Troskovitz to sell baskets, but she knows I can't manage on my own, so she never stays away for long. These old eyes of mine can't see nothing much. Pavlena has to take care of me. She's a good girl, that lass of mine. I'm very worried about her. You understand? What if something's happened to her? God forbid. I can't look for her myself, but you could. I know I'm asking a lot of you, but I've no one else to turn to.
Do you think anyone might want to hurt Pavlena?
These are evil times, Henry. I dread to think what could happen to a young girl alone on the road. And besides, the folk in Troskovitz ain't too fond of us.
What have the Troskovitz people got against you? Did something happen?
I'd rather not talk about it, Henry. I wouldn't want you to get the wrong impression about us.
You live completely alone in the middle of the woods. Don't you think I've already got a bad enough impression of you?
And where else would we live, you genius, when we're not wanted? Don't go digging up old wrongs, Henry. And don't insult us.
Did it occur to you she might have run off? She's a young girl. And pretty. What kind of life does she have here in the woods? Maybe she wanted to live a little.
You don't know Pavlena. She's not like that. If she wanted to live a little, she'd tell me straight out. She doesn't keep things from me. Don't imagine I keep her here against her will, or that I don't know what it means to be young.
Pavlena is young, and Well, no offence, but you seem a little old to be her mother. Is she really your daughter?
She is. Not by birth, but that doesn't change anything. Her mother died in childbirth, and there was no one but me to take care of her.
And who was Pavlena's birth mother?
A girl from the charcoal burners. They left the county, and I think she had no one else. I buried her myself. No one came for her.
And do you know anything about Pavlena's father?
I don't know who he was. Pavlena's mother was very young, and the fella surely abandoned her when her belly grew. She never told me nothing about him.
All right, good wife. I'll try to find Pavlena for you.
Thank you, Henry. If I was you, I'd ask in Troskovitz. That's where she was heading last time I saw her. And if she arrived, someone must have seen her. And you can look in the hut in her place in the loft. She keeps her things there. My old legs ain't up to climbing stairs, but you might find some clues there.
So, Pavlena, what have you left for me? Hey, this is a boy's cap. Does Pavlena wear it? Or did someone leave it here? She's got unfinished work here. Clothes. If she planned to run away, she'd have taken them with her. Like she got up and went straight out. I had a look in Pavlena's place in the loft.
And? Did you find anything?
She didn't pack up her stuff. I don't think she was planning to be gone for long.
I told you, didn't I? Pavlena wouldn't run off.
I found a cap there. A man's cap. I don't suppose Pavlena would wear something like that.
You're saying she had some young man here? I'd surely have noticed.
I don't know, good wife. I'm just saying what I found.
Could she have found herself a beau in Troskovitz?
She's got unfinished work there. She weaves baskets.
Aye, she usually has a few on the go, but she took them to the market in Troskovitz. We've got nothing here but what we make ourselves, or find in the woods. Pavlena weaves baskets very nicely. Folk buy them from her. Take care.
Keep the peace. There's no law against it. I can look if I want, eh?
What's going on here?
That brick's ogling my girl. No, I'm not. But even if I was, he can't get all gobby on me like that.
You're making a scene. Please, let's just go.
Worldly law says one thing, but God's law and scripture tells us something else.
What are you talking about?
The Ten Commandments say thou shalt not covet thy neighbour's wife,
There you go!
but they also say thou shalt not kill.
No worries on that score. I'll just knock his teeth out.
That's also a sin. So let it go and just be glad you have a beautiful, sweet lass. Love one another and multiply.
You know what? Let's go. I wouldn't want to beat up a prelate in disguise. No one else is gonna multiply for you.
Jealous fool.
Folks,
lovely
if you
affair
value
I've
your
never
life,
seen.
stop drinking.
I'm looking for a young girl who's gone missing. Her name is Pavlena, and she sells baskets here sometimes. Do you know anything about her?
Isn't that the girl who was chased out of here with her ma years ago? There was a lot of talk about that here. But no, I ain't seen her. See you later, my friend.
Coming right up.
Greetings. Do you need something?
I'm looking for a young girl named Pavlena. She's missing. She was supposed to be selling baskets here. Do you know anything about her?
Better you ask innkeeper Betty about things like that. I'm just the help, and I ain't seen any Pavlena.
But your father's still alive, isn't he?
Aye, but he drools all over himself. And he gets this feeling that his time is
Have you
nearly
come
up,
to break
'cause he
some
get
more
it often,
stuff?
Nearly all the time.
If you
And he's
want
always
something,
threatening to leave
wait till
everything
it
in
happens.
church if I
Just
don't
watch
go
where
and
you're
see him.
going next time.
I'm looking for Pavlena from Zhelyov, Goodman. Have you seen her?
Pavlena? Pavlena. The name rings a bell, but I can't say I know her. Does she ever go dancing in the tavern? I'd ask at the tavern if I was you.
It was good to see you, my friend.
Bottoms up!
Christ, pardon me.
How come?
To your friend?
Good day to you. How's life treating you?
Not too bad.
Come on, Roman! Where are you?
What are you yelling for? What's going on?
I'm looking for my friend Roman. He works with us in the woods, and we need him now. But I can't find him. Have you seen him?
I haven't met any Roman.
If he's off again with that basket girl from Zhelyov,
What basket girl?
Pavlena her name is. Roman goes with her to court in the shade of the pines, if you catch my drift.
My, that's a coincidence. I'm looking for Pavlena. Where do you think Pavlena and Roman might be?
Not long ago, Roman was talking over a beer about how him and Pavlena wanted to leave and start a new life. Somewhere where no one knows her and her ma.
You think they'd really do it?
I took it all with a grain of salt, but after what he told me last time, anything is possible. For Christ's sake, he's got a whole house his pa left him. He wouldn't just leave it on account of her, would he?
Well, I don't know about Roman, but I've been at Pavlena's, and it didn't look like she was getting ready to leave.
She might have done it in secret, and she'd have reason enough. Believe me. Best to go and look in Roman's house. That should clear things up.
All right. Let's go and take a look at Roman's.
Great. That is, you can go there.
Hang on, you said you two were friends. Why would I go there alone?
For one thing, I have to work. And besides, how would it look if anyone saw me breaking down his door? My reputation would be ruined. Whereas you, no offense, you're a stranger. You don't have to worry about your good name, do you? But me, I'd lose my livelihood.
Well, I can do it. But you ought to give me something. For insurance. I'm the one sticking my neck out here. Well, if I'm caught there, I'll need a few groschen to bribe the catchpoles, so I don't end up in the stocks.
True enough. Here you are. This ought to do it. After you search the place, come back and let me know what you found. I'll be around here somewhere.
Nobody home. But maybe Pavlena was here. It's set for 2. Freshly eaten. And there are the baskets Pavlena came here to sell. They were here for sure. Maybe they just went for a stroll. Dushko might know about their favorite spots.
Greetings.
I searched Roman's house.
And what did you find?
Well, there's no one there, but Pavlena had been there for sure. The table was set for 2, and I found the baskets that she sells too.
You're right. It sure does look like she was there.
It can't have been long ago either. The food was still fresh. Any idea where they might have gone?
Well, they've got a favorite spot down by the stream. You could try looking there.
Where exactly?
There's a ditch leading from Roman's house to the stream. Follow it down the hill. When you come to a place where the stream flows between the 2 big boulders, turn left and go straight. There it is, under an old linden tree.
All right. Thank you.
But, mind you don't walk into the middle of anything, awkward. And tell that lazy bastard to get his ass to work. I'm not going to do his work for him. Take care, friend.
God be with you, my friend.
Greetings to you, friend. Don't cause any trouble. Got it?
What did I do to you?
I'm looking for Pavlena, the daughter of Bozhena from Zhelyov. She comes here selling baskets and other items.
Aye. I know her.
Do you know if she's been here in the last few days, Master Bailiff? I'm a bit worried about her.
I haven't seen her myself, but you can ask around the village. Try the houses along the road to Zhelyov. She'd have to pass that way.
I'd like to report an ambush. Some scoundrels attacked my lord's retinue and killed our men.
That's a serious matter. Where is your lord?
Well, he left.
I don't understand why he's not lodging a complaint himself, and why not directly at the castle. He has that right as a lord.
It's a long story. My lord got very angry and then went missing.
Sorry, fella, but I'm not sure whether you're making it up or lying to me. But if you were telling the truth, why don't you bring your lord here and we can talk it all over calmly? I'm sorry, lad, but until then, I've got more important things to do.
I need to speak with Sir Otto.
With the Royal Chamberlain? Are you yanking my official pizzle?
Why not?
I'd like to talk to him too, boy, but he's still in Prague. He's hardly ever here. Chamberlain Ulrich is in charge of things.
And where do I find him?
Where do you think? Up in the castle.
But they won't let me in there.
What do you want me to do about it? That's your problem. I'm not going to put in a word for you. I hardly know you.
What's new in the county, Master Bailiff?
I was just visited by one of the local peasants. He said he found more fresh graves behind his field. just below the village, along the road to Nabokov.
What do you mean, more? You sound like this isn't the first time.
That we found someone buried here? Don't even ask. I've been digging up bodies ever since that bandit gang started running rampant. Most of them are von Burgo's men. Also, if it wasn't bad enough, that gang of bandits is rampaging through the region. Now someone's stealing cabbage from the peasants. What a disaster.
Cabbage?
Aye, and the peasants won't stop bugging me about it. I was just visited by a peasant from Jadar. He's been talking my ears off for God knows how long. Say, do I really have to do this? Do I have the time to look for some moron stealing cabbages? And that's about it.
That sounds interesting. Thank you.
You only come to me when you want something. So what is it this time?
There are strange sounds coming from the forest.
What kind of sounds?
Like someone calling.
And what do you want me to do about it?
Well, I thought you might go and look into it or something.
Are you out of your mind?
Huh?
If you think something is wrong, then go and take a look yourself. I've got enough work as is.
Hi-yo.
I'm looking for Pavlena from Zhelyov. Have you seen her?
Why would I? And what's it to do with you?
Her mother sent me to look for her. She hasn't come home for a long time.
Oh, yeah? On account of she's off whoring somewhere, no doubt.
What happened to you? You're all beaten up.
It ain't none of your fucking business. If you're so interested, go and ask at the tavern. I bet they'd be glad to tell you all about it.
Have you got something against Pavlena?
I ain't got no problem with her. She's the one that's got a problem with me, the bitch.
Someone ought to shut that nasty mouth of yours. Pavlena's gone missing, and the way you talk about her, I'm getting the feeling you might be to blame. And that could end very badly for you.
And someone ought to pull that wasp's nest out of your ass. Fuck off and stop bothering me about your Pavlena.
You're still good. It'd be worse if you had three.
Did Bailiff Thrush tell you?
Tell me what?
Ave Maria. Have you come to break some more stuff? If you want something, then have no
Christ, there must have been a fight here. This must be the place Dushko was telling me about. How the local lads bring their girls over here. It's covered in blood. Used as a weapon, maybe. Blood? I hope it's not Pavlena's. This is surely Pavlena's. A piece of her dress. This doesn't look good. If I had Mutt here, I could let him sniff it. Oh well. Never mind. A trail of blood. I should see where it leads. Oh, Jesus! Who's this? Someone must have killed him and buried him here by the roof. And then the pigs dug him up. I should try and find out who's herding those pigs. Maybe they saw something.
Ladybird! Ladybird! Where the hell did that go?
I found a stray pig.
That's great. I lost a sow somewhere. Where is she?
Not so fast. It's munching on a corpse back there in the forest.
Blessed Virgin! What corpse?
I don't know. Never saw him before. Probably someone from the village. A young fella. Ginger hair.
Christ above. That must be Roman. There ain't no other young redhead in the village. I saw him going through the glade with his girl. Oh, Christ. I think I'm gonna throw up.
Who are you?
My name is Hugo. I herd hogs. I take them to the woods to forage for acorns and nuts. But I ain't got nothing to do with no cops, if that's what you're asking.
Have you seen anything suspicious going on around here?
Suspicious? Like how?
I don't know. Someone carrying or dragging something? That corpse didn't walk there on its own.
Hang on now. I did see something a bit odd. One of the farmhands came from the woods in a big hurry. And he was carrying a spade.
Which one of them was it?
Straw! That is Slavobor. But everyone calls him Straw. He works on Yakish's farm. A big farmstead in the south of the village. Oh, do you think he could have killed Roman?
Who knows? But it does seem like he buried him.
God's truth.
Did you say Roman was with a girl?
Aye, with that young lass what sells baskets here sometimes.
Pavlena?
Aye, that's her. Oh, you think the girl might be mixed up in his death?
I hope not. I'm trying to find her too. Thanks for your help. I better go and find that farmhand.
Aye, and if he really done it, then give the murdering fucker what he deserves. Ladybird, you stupid swine. Ladybird! Hey, come here.
Are you the one they call Straw?
Yeah? Why?
I know everything. I know you buried Roman's body in the woods.
What? How could you? That's not true.
It's no use trying to wriggle out of it. I have a witness.
Shit. Fuck. I didn't want nothing to do with it, I swear. It's all that girl's fault.
Where is Pavlena?
I ain't telling you nothing.
Don't try any charades with me. If something's happened to Pavlena, you'll pay for it. Here and now.
No. You're the one who will pay. I won't let you go and snitch on us.
Pray for a quick death, you bastard.
Enough! I give up!
Had enough!
Enough! Enough! I'll tell you everything. We didn't want it to end like this, I swear. I'll tell you everything.
Speak up!
Well, it all began in the tavern. We were boozing with Yakish. He don't go to the tavern much, but when he does, me and my brother go along too. Even though we're just his hired farmhands, he buys us wine.
Yeah? Go on.
When Yakish got drunk, he started remembering that day when his wife and son died. It happened during childbirth. And to this day, Yakish blames Bozhina, the herb woman, for it. She was the midwife. I don't know if it was really her fault, but anyway, the boy died and she didn't baptize him, even though she had every right to do it. The little fella died unchristened, so his soul is damned for all eternity. That's not right.
I suppose it was nothing.
That's awful. But what's it got to do with anything?
When he had 3 or 4 jugs inside him, Yakish started on about how he'd give anything to see Bozhina suffer the same pain as he did. It wasn't enough for him that they drove her out of the village that time. He wanted to pay her back even more.
So you two idiots decided to kill Pavlena? Is that how it was?
No, no. We just wanted to scare her off, so she wouldn't come here again. We followed her along the path to the pond, and then we jumped her. Only then her fella turned up, Roman. As soon as he saw us, he charged us like a wounded boar. And he held my brother by the throat and pounded him like a madman. So I grabbed a rock and smashed him over the head with it. I never seen so much blood. I didn't mean to kill him, I swear.
God almighty. And what did you do with Pavlena?
She was stunned when she saw what happened. So my brother grabbed her and dragged her into the rocks while I went to bury Roman. We couldn't just let her go after she'd seen everything.
Where in the rocks?
To the south of Zhelyov. There's a kind of gorge there. An abandoned poacher's hide with a ladder leading to it. I've told you everything. What are you going to do with me?
Both of you should be tried justly for what you did. I'll take you to the bailiff and leave the rest to him.
Kurva, I really didn't want it to end like this.
I brought you Slavobor. They call him Straw, from Yakesh's farm. He and his brother attacked Pavlena and killed Roman. Then Straw buried him in the woods.
For the love of God, Straw! Is this true?
We didn't mean to kill anyone. We just wanted to give Pavlena a scare, and Roman went for us. It was self-defense.
Henry, is it true what he's saying?
Straw's not telling the whole truth. He and his brother attacked Pavlena, thinking they could get something out of it.
I might have known. We'll keep Straw under lock and key until I decide what to do with him. Thanks for bringing him in, Henry. Roman was an honest Christian. It's a great shame.
I'd like to ask more about Pavlena.
Stop there! Don't come any closer, or I'll cut her throat. Don't move, you horse son. Who the fuck are you?
My name is Henry. I'm from Scalitz.
And what the fuck do you want here, Henry of Scalitz? Who sent you?
Don't jump to conclusions. No one sent me.
Well, that's great. What the fuck am I to do now? As if I didn't have enough shit to deal with already. Kurva. I never wanted it to end like this. You gotta believe me. I just wanted to give Pavlina a scare, but then that fool Roman got mixed up in it and... I never meant to kill anyone! Shit!
Take it easy.
Don't fucking tell me to take it easy! How did you get here? My dog Bristly was guarding the entrance. What did you do to him, you bastard? And where's my brother? He should have been here long ago. Talk, or I'll slit her throat.
Why are you doing this? Why pick on Pavlena?
It's Yakash's doing. Bozhena killed his son. He was always on about paying her back for it. And he's got a huge fucking farm and 2 daughters to marry off. He'd never give them to ordinary farmhands, unless he owed them a debt.
So you did it to get into his good books?
It was the only way. I don't want to spend my whole life shoveling shit.
Don't worry, your dog is just fine. I gave him the slip.
You treacherous rat! You wanted to sneak up on me from behind, eh? Well, Bristly will be waiting for you.
I met your brother, And when he realized I knew everything, he ran off to the bailiff himself, rather than face me. And you ought to do the same. I've chewed up and spat out the likes of you more than once.
Have you even seen my brother? He's twice as tough as you are, and he'd never run from you. I don't know what your game is, but try something else like that, and the two of you will be sorry.
I don't know what more I can tell you. It's time for you to make your mind up. Look, let Pavlena go, and I swear I'll let you walk away unharmed.
How do I know you're not lying?
I swear it.
That means nothing. And anyway, what would I do then? She knows everything. She'll tell on me and I'll be fucked.
You still have a way out. You let her go, and I'll persuade her to keep her mouth shut. I swear to you, she won't tell anyone anything. Isn't that right, Pavlena?
Sakra. Oh, all right. I'll let her go. And I hope you two aren't lying to me. I can always find you again.
I'll give you my word. And now set her free.
All right, all right. Just take it easy.
You
I'm letting her go.
Die!
No!
Die! Die! That's for Roman! You bastard!
You killed him? But he let you go.
So what? He deserved nothing better.
No, you're right. He had it coming.
Yes, for what he did to Roman. I have to get out of here. Will you take me back home?
Sorry, but I want to clear something up before we go.
What's that?
Are you all right? You're not hurt?
No, I'm fine. Just a few scratches. It's nothing.
Do you know why they wanted to hurt you?
Yakesh put them up to it. For a long time after they chased us out, I didn't dare go to Troskovitz. Ma always warned me not to. Only then, I met Roman. I should have known the people there hadn't forgotten about us. And that Yakesh still wanted revenge.
That's all I need to know.
So, can we please go now?
We can go. I'll go with you.
Good. I don't want to spend another moment here.
Of course.
Let's go then.
Here we are. Pavlena's fine.
Pavlena, let me look. Are you all right?
I'm fine, Ma. They
They abducted her.
God almighty. Who would do such a thing?
They were hired hands from Troskovitz.
And did they do anything to you?
No, they just tied me up. But they were Yakesh's hands. They would have killed me.
Yakesh? I might have known he wouldn't leave us in peace. Hasn't he hurt us enough already? Isn't it enough that we have to live here because of him?
Ma.
I knew it would come to this. Henry, I need one last service from you.
I'd be glad to help.
Yakesh is to blame for everything. For us being driven out, for Pavlena being abducted.
And for everything else.
Everything leads back to him and his old hatred. We'll never have peace as long as he's alive.
What are you trying to say?
I want you to kill him.
What? Are you serious?
Yes. It's either him or us.
What happened between you and Yakesh?
That's old history.
It was because of him that they drove us out of Troskovitz.
You lived in Troskovitz?
For generations. I was the midwife there for years, just like my ma before me. So many children we brought into the world. Yakesh is too, except for one.
What happened?
The birth started sooner than it should have, and Yakesh didn't send for us on time. He thought since Ludmilla had already given birth to 3 children, she'd manage the 4th on her own. Little Marushka came to get us, though, but by the time we arrived, it was looking bad. I did what I could. I gave her poultices and herbs to inhale, but the child was feet first and wouldn't come out. No matter what we did, it clung on and wouldn't budge. In the end, it died. When we finally got it out, it was too late.
He was, ripped apart. I remember that.
Pavlena. It was a boy. Yakesh's only son. He wouldn't listen. He had to look at him. Right after, he threw us out. Ludmilla died during the night, probably all alone, from exhaustion and pain, or maybe distress. Yakesh blamed us for everything, and the whole village listened to him. They drove us out.
Past the boundary stone.
Yakesh turned all his anger and hatred against us. But it was us who tried to save his son.
I don't think it was your fault. These things just happen in life sometimes.
Aye. Everyone dies.
Yes.
I understand. And I agree. I'll do what you ask. It's only right and just.
You will? It really must have been the will of God that you crossed our path. Thank you, Henry.
That's bloody deep.
Greetings. What do you want, you yokel? Speak up or get lost.
Would you happen to have a cheap horse for sale?
Well, I sell quite a few horses here, but by the looks of you, you must be talking about that grey nag, eh? But all she's good for are sausages. That old bitch won't let anybody touch her. I was already suspicious when that traveller sold her to me. He said he found her running about near the Rock Tower Pond.
Grey, old, and someone found her by the Rock Tower Pond. That's where we were ambushed. That's my horse. That's Pebbles.
What do you mean, yours? I bought it fair and square. I admit, it was only for a few groschen from some suspicious lad who found it down by the Rock Tower Pond, but that horse is not branded, so it belongs to me now.
Look, you know they attacked an entourage by that pond, right?
I heard about it. That news spread through the land like wildfire.
And the one who sold it to you told you he found it by the pond, right?
Well, he did, aye.
So it's not entirely impossible she belonged to me.
Maybe not impossible, but I paid for her.
Aye, but just a few groschen. You said so yourself. Wouldn't you rather be in the good graces of someone who might have been part of that expedition?
Maybe so. All right, I'll give her to you. But you owe me one. Go and get her then. If she remembers you, she might even come when you whistle for her. Safe travels.
So I says to him, "No, father, I haven't been fornicating. I've just been loving my neighbour."
Hey! You alright there, laddie?
Oh, you should have seen him. He went as red as a cardinal's hat. Aye. Hey, servant, bring some wine.
Me? I'm not a servant.
Oh, I know. Old Serene is saving supplies for the wedding later. But you didn't need to bother your wee head about that.
Look, I'm not from here.
Oh. I didn't give a fuck what you frae. You speak our language, do you not?
Well, Yarko, seems to me this fella doesn't know how to behave toward his betters.
The old man's hired hands are lacking in manners. We'll soon fix that. Now you're gonna die! Ha!
What are you doing?
Christ! Shit!
I beat him even more.
I'll beat you to a bloody pulp, fucker!
Hey! Stop walking!
Come on! I'm wounded!
This is unbelievable!
Come on. Oh, you wee
What
bastard!
in the devil's name is fucking going on here?
What do you think's going on, Grandad? I'm teaching your people here how we do things.
Grandad?
Why, Grandad? An old captain like you probably still remember the foot.
True enough, Yurko. I am old. And I remember all sorts of things. Like you. When you were a little nipper running around here bare arse, with a ribbon in your hair, screaming out how you was Princess Sophie. Poor lad, hadn't a moment's peace from his big sisters.
What about that wine?
Who in God's name are you?
Henry. The Takoff blacksmith sent me. Radovan.
Blacksmith, eh? Then you'll have some explaining to do. Come along and never mind that fool Yurko. Young Samin's getting married, so we has to put up with his kin from Moravia.
We'll be needing a dozen geese. And I must tell Vashek to get 3 pigs ready for slaughter. And the carters will have to be sent to Yetchin to get at least a peck of poppy seed for cakes. And gingerbread spices. Oh, and wine, too. It's almost all gone, what we bought only last week.
Enter!
Sorry to intrude, sir. This is Henry, blacksmith Radovan's hand.
Oh, excellent. Dorothy, leave us now. Just make sure that there's plenty of everything so long as it doesn't cost too much.
But, sir...
Not another word! Leave us! So Radovan sent you alone. Who's going to unload it all? It's a whole cartload.
Yeah, Radovan sent me, sir, but not with the goods. The thing is, he's missing his cart, along with the carter in his hands.
What? But they never came here. Are you telling me they got lost?
Well, I couldn't tell you what happened to them, sir, but it's my job to find them.
There are all sorts of vermin roaming the countryside.
Oh, no need to imagine the worst right off, gnarly. Anyway, I need the load from that cart, so saddle up your old nag and we'll ride out, Captain. I could do with a breath of fresh air. I've had it up to the eyeballs with counting geese and pies.
What about Henry here, sir?
Well, what about him?
We could use an extra pair of hands. You know how my shoulder's acting up. Yurko is shit-faced, and your son
The older has work to do. All right, take Henry with you if you want. Just so long as he doesn't slow us down.
Thank you, sir. So, lad, you going with us? I hope you're happy about it.
Yeah. I'll be glad to help you.
Oh, you reckon we can't manage on our own?
No. That's not how I meant it.
Take it easy, son. I'm only yanking your pizzle. So, do you know what to do? Or have you got any more questions?
Actually, there is something I'd like to ask about. This Yurko and his mates, who are they?
They're Lord Samin's kin. They're fine as long as they don't get too much booze inside them.
Only they're from Moravia, so they're never far from the booze.
But what could I tell you, lad? Each to himself. Besides, they stick with the family when push comes to shove. And you can't say that about everyone.
And you, sir? What is it you do?
Well, son, I wonder if I haven't made a mistake about you. If you haven't figured me out by now, you can't be very bright.
No, I just meant, what exactly is it you do for Lord Semin? And your name isn't exactly very common.
I'm the captain here, and I'm sure I don't have to tell you what a captain does. As for my name, it's a nickname Lord Samin's grandpa gave me. May he rest in peace. When I joined his service as a young fella, I took my gnarly club with me. Wouldn't use anything else. I was used to it. And more than once helped me to, well, win an argument. I broke many a hard skull with it. And it's still in one piece. We've been together so long, we even share the same name.
You're lucky you didn't turn out to be Captain Knob.
Or Captain Headcracker. You're right.
We should probably get going.
That we should. But it's getting pretty late. We need daylight for a search like that. Come back in the morning and we'll set out. If you want, stay here. You'll get a bit of grub in the kitchen and you can sleep in the barn.
God bless you.
Don't get ideas. I wasn't at my best. But I'm not gonna scrap with you again.
You've got quite an unusual accent. Where are you from?
Can't you tell? From Znaimor in Moravia. Lovely country. All vineyards and bonny lasses.
Well, you don't like it here?
You see any vineyards and bonny lasses here? The locks are broad, all right. They didn't exactly lift your spirits, but more the other way around.
You're related to the Semines, if I understood right.
Aye, I wouldn't near be here otherwise. My great-grandmother married young Lord Samin's great-uncle. It's not every day that your, first cousin, once removed, gets married.
Twice removed, but that doesn't matter.
Ah, who cares? There'll be a good old shindig, that's all that counts.
You're a long way from Moravia. You must hold Lord Semine in high esteem.
My pa holds all his kin in high esteem, so he sends us all over the place. But we didn't have all far to go. We were at a wedding in Rottenburg last week, a wee bit from Yichlava. Before that, it was a bairn's christening at Koschenberg, and another wedding in Dalchin. Then a friendly visit to our kin, the Shellbergs in Kuhlberg. That's all I mind. I haven't been home for 6 months, and I didn't care.
Why don't you want another fight?
Why would I want a stramash? I'm near a man of violence. Tradition has been honoured already.
Is it your custom to beat up envoys who come to the courtyard?
Envoy or no, when a new bloke turns up and gives us a queer look, he gets a clout in the gob. That's fair, isn't it?
Well, no. It's not a custom where I'm from.
See? I learnt you something about Moravian ways.
I'm sorry.
Whoa! Go! Whoa!
Good day. Where are you heading, laddie?
I'm headed to Troskovitz.
In that case, you'll avoid the bloody barn.
What barn?
There's an old abandoned barn not far from here. Some vagabond has camped there. On the booze from morning till night. Right nuisance he is. I've tried to have a word, but the bastard came at me with an axe. That's why I warn passers-by, so they don't come to no harm. God only knows what that bloke might do.
Thanks. I'll keep it in mind.
I'll be right there.
Greetings to you.
The Lord be with you.
Are you going to do what we talked about?
I don't know yet. I'll have to see.
God be with...
Can I ask you about that cart?
What is it you need to know?
Those two hands of yours, Venter and Franzi, what can you tell me about them?
Can't tell you much. They're wandering labourers. I don't think they wanted to stay here with me for long, but these days I can use all the help I can get.
Were they suspicious in any way?
No, they worked hard. They ain't no slackers. And I can't say that about everyone.
All right, I'm on my way.
Time's wasting. Run along. I'm sorry.
Greetings.
I'm ready to set out, sir.
All right. Stay close to us and don't go wandering off.
As you say, sir.
Where will we start searching, sir?
If they drove out of Tarkov and headed towards us, they had to pass through Troskovitz.
Right, sir. You keep up with us, son. Troskovitz ain't far, but it seems there's fellas vanishing on the way.
Very good, Captain.
What do you think about it, Captain?
I know you told me not to jump to any conclusions, sir, but I can't help myself. Someone's running rampant around here, sir.
I know who's running rampant. Yurko in the cellar. We're out of wine again. I knew this wedding wouldn't be cheap, but I'm bleeding like a stuck pig. And the bailiff, the bride's father, you'd get more blood out of a stone than coin out of him. And then he behaves like I shit golden eggs just because I'm a noble. Even though he's got more coin than me.
Such are the times, sir. But that Yurko, he's going too far.
You know how those Moravians are. It's in his blood.
Aye, I noticed. But they're getting too much to handle. Him and his cronies. They started on young Henry, soon as he set foot on the courtyard.
What? Is that true, Henry?
It was nothing. Just a bit of a friendly brawl. They clearly had a skinful. I can understand it.
Well, I've sure as hell got no understanding for it. I hope they didn't hurt you.
Young Henry here gave Yurko a nice hammering.
Oh, that's no surprise. The fella can hardly stand upright most of the time.
You'd have to get up early to catch them sober. But they wasn't that drunk as to give Henry an easy fight.
Look here, lad. If you're such a champion, I'm sure you'd accept the challenge of an old man like myself.
It would be an honor, sir.
Excellent. Not afraid, eh? That's what I like to see. There's an abandoned pen along the path a bit. We'll stop off there and see what you're made of.
All right, sir. If you'll excuse me, I'll explain some things to the youngster here first. Wouldn't want no accidents happening.
So, we're here. Gnarly, tell the youngster here what's what.
All right, son. You're going to fight Lord Sameen. It'll be an honorable fight, so you better act accordingly. Hold on, Mo. I'll give you some gear for it.
What weapon will you give me?
What would you like?
Sword?
Don't get ahead of yourself, laddie. A sword belongs in noble hands. You can have my cudgel. It might be just a stick, but it's my stick, so careful with it.
Thank you, Captain.
Save the thanks, and get your arse into the pen.
Sir?
Take that! Jesus, I'm hit!
What do you say, son?
Whew. You really gave me the runaround.
I'm no spring chicken, but I'm as spry as ever.
That's true. And you handled this too, sir. Anyways, you can keep that old junk, Henry. Even my cudgel. But take care of the old fella. He might be just a piece of wood, but he's saved my arse more than once.
I will, Captain.
Good to stretch the limbs every now and again. Don't worry about losing, lad. You've got some talent, I can tell. You should come to the courtyard and Gnarly here will give you a good education in the art of the sword.
I call it The art of not getting skewered as soon as you step foot outside the village. But do come in. We've got a nice arena in Sameen. It ain't no abandoned pig pen.
You can't always choose your battleground, Gnarly. Whether it's a pig pen or an arena in Carlstead, it's the performance that counts. And while we're on the subject, where are you from, lad? It's clear you're not from Trosky.
I'm from Silver Scallets, sir.
Aha! Now I understand why you're here. You're not the first one to flee here from the war.
I don't flee from a fight, sir. I have work here, and a lot of scores to settle.
You want to get revenge for what happened back home? That usually doesn't end well. You'd be better advised to find yourself a well-built girl, build a cottage, and visit the church and the tavern in turn. There's no helping the dead anyway.
That's nice advice, sir. Only women will tie you down, lad. Better to go and see a bit of the world. You're doing the right thing. So, we're in Troskowitz. What now, sir? Should I go to the bailiff and ask if he might have seen someone?
Well, that makes sense. But the young fella here should do it. If the bailiff sees you, he'll guess I'm in the village and come and bother me. And I'm really not in the mood today for any bombardment of complaints.
I understand, sir. All right, Henry. Run along to the rat house and inquire about that wagon.
And Henry, not a word about me. Are we clear?
As you wish, sir. Master Bailiff, can I ask you about something?
Ask away, by all means. Wait now. Aren't you that lad who's helping Radovan in the forge?
Yeah, that's me.
I heard his hired hands went missing.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm here.
Ah. I was thinking they were driving awful fast with that cart.
You saw them?
I did. A few days back. They raced through the village in the early evening so fast, they were dropping sacks of charcoal.
Where were they headed?
Towards the east, to Apollonia on the road to Yichin. And you're looking for them?
I am indeed.
I'm glad to hear it. I heard there were goods for Semine on that cart, and I can do without that kind of trouble now. On account of the wedding, you know?
It seems you have a lot of concerns with that wedding, Master Bailiff.
Of course I do. I'm the father of the bride, after all. Although not everyone sees eye to eye with me. Lord Semine would be happier if I paid all the bills and left all the decisions up to him. Who's invited, what there'll be to eat and drink, entertainment, everything. It's not like I have a burning desire to deal with it, but if I'm going to pay for it...
I understand. But isn't it just that the Grooms family is more concerned about these things?
That's not it. I'll tell you what it is. It's because Lord Semine is a noble and I'm just a commoner. Only I've got coin. While he's trying to keep the wolf from the door in that piddling estate of his.
You ought to calm down, Master Bailiff. That kind of talk can stir things up.
You're right, of course. It just makes me mad, though.
I understand. Do you know anything about Radovan's hired hands?
Only what I've told you. But to tell you the truth, I wouldn't mind if they never turned up again.
Why's that?
Well, they might look like butter wouldn't melt in their mouths, and Radovan praises them, but I know people. That pair have mischief in their eyes. I can tell.
That'll be all. Thanks.
Greetings, lad. What brings you here?
As the local scribe, you know a lot of things, right?
I'd say so. In this province, not a squirrel farts without my knowing.
Right. So, if I needed to get something, you'd certainly be able to tell me where, right?
Depends on what you're looking for. Don't involve me with anything dishonorable.
No, don't worry. I'm just looking for some armor.
Armor? Well, unless you want to join von Burgau's retinue, I don't think I can help you. But try Radovan, the blacksmith in Tachov. He might at least sell you an iron helmet.
You don't know of anything better?
Aha. So, the good man is a connoisseur, eh? And how would Prince Brunswick's armor suit you?
Whose armor?
Oh, it's just a local legend.
What legend?
It's hard to explain. There are actually 2 legends, or even 3. Well, it doesn't really matter. Why are you so interested anyway? Fine armor like that belongs in the hands of a knight.
Oh, come now. Surely you're not going to keep that legend to yourself. Do a fellow scholar a service.
Youngster, being able to piss your name in the snow doesn't make a scholar out of you.
I beg your pardon?
All right. No need to lose your temper. I'll tell you. In short, they say the armor of ancient Bohemian Prince Brunswick is hidden here, waiting for some valiant knight to find it. I don't believe it, of course. After all, I'm educated. But you'd be surprised how many fools have set off to find it.
Who exactly was this Brunswick?
You don't know, lad? Educate yourself. Brunswick was a famous Czech prince who won the lion for our country's coat of arms.
Really? How is it that I've never heard of him?
Perhaps because he never existed. Prince Vladislav II got the lion for our coat of arms for helping Emperor Frederick I, known as Redbeard.
But you just said that...
Brunswick is just a legend, but a quite lovely one, I'll give you that.
Could you recount for me the legend of Brunswick?
Well, why not? Brunswick was a valiant Bohemian prince. He lived in a time when our country had an eagle on its coat of arms, but that wasn't good enough for him, so he decided to head out into the world and gain the mark of a more powerful animal.
A man after my own heart.
You may think so, but his wife was none too happy. Her name was Ludmilla, and she begged Brunswick 100 times to stay home, but he just couldn't be persuaded. Still, he loved her very much, so he took her ring and told her that unless someone came and showed her that ring during the next 7 years, she should wait for his return. But if he failed to return after 7 years, that would mean he would never return.
Then what happened next?
Brunswick's party set out to sea, but didn't get far. They were drawn in by an island with a mysterious mountain of amber that holds all ships and prevents them from leaving. Over time, the men on the deserted island died of starvation, leaving only Brunswick, who noticed that once a year a great bird called No came to the island to hunt. And so the clever knight hid in his horse's hide at just the right time. And when the bird came, it mistook him for prey and carried him away. So Brunswick wandered on. After some time on the road, the prince came across something unprecedented. A duel between a lion and a 9-headed dragon. So, what do you think Brunswick did at that moment?
Well, a dragon is certainly much stronger than a lion, so I suppose he sided with the dragon, right?
Nonsense! Brunswick rushed to help the lion, and together they killed the dragon. And from that time on, they were stalwart companions. The lion even followed him all the way back to Bohemia. Except, by then, it was already too late. It had already been exactly 7 years to the day since Brunswick set off on his journey. His wife, Ludmilla, who had until that time valiantly resisted all suitors,
was about to remarry, but at the wedding feast, Brunswick managed to drop the ring in her cup, so it all turned out well. For Brunswick, that is. Not so for Ludmilla's new groom, but the lion took care of that.
Where did Brunswick's armor come from?
It is said that George the Lion of Württemberg brought it here. He was the nephew of Lord Chenyek of Württemberg, who built Trusky. This George spent a lot of time with King Wenceslas. A suspiciously long amount of time, if you know what I mean.
I think I get the picture.
And it is said that one day, a lion escaped from the king's menagerie, and George overpowered it with his bare hands and laid it at the king's feet, still alive. As a reward, Wenceslas gave young Württemberg the name Lion and the armor of his ancestor, Prince Brunswick. Only Sir George didn't live to enjoy it for long. He caught the plague at a tournament abroad, and died on his way back to his king. Specifically, while visiting his uncle here at Trusky. Of course, the king wanted his armor back, but Lord Chenyek didn't want to give it to him, claiming he had the hereditary right to it. It looked like Wenceslas would lay siege to Trusky, but fortunately Lord Chenyek was completely destitute by then, so he sold all of Trusky and the armor to the king.
Well, if the king was so endeared with Brunswick's armor, why did he leave it here?
Because he didn't have any choice, my friend. He never found the armor. Lord Chenyek was as cunning as a fox. While he did leave the armor here, he never told anyone where. It's said he hid it so it could only be found by a true knight. Each piece in a different place. Or so they say round these parts. Who knows if there's any truth to the tale?
And do you know where I could find Brunswick's armor?
Yes, lad, if it even really exists. But I do have a little bit of advice for you. Sir Chenyek, who they say hid the armor, left behind a riddle. It's a test that must be passed by whoever wants to find it. Do you want to hear it?
Then how did that riddle go?
Wait, how was it? I've got it. Take your leave of crone and maiden, standing tall behind the gates. Boldly go towards true midnight. In caverns cold your prize awaits. Pass through the all of forest kings, hidden deep from hunter's gaze. Standing tall, 2 guards of stone. Behind whom yearned for treasure lays. Between them stands a mighty rock. A subtle niche, yet deeper still. A place to give one's art to God. Behold, my armor gleaming still.
The crone and the maiden towards midnight. We've got east, west, midday, midnight. Bloody hell! I think I know where it is.
Really? Well, seems you've got something between your ears then, lad. And you know what? I've got something else for you. Sir George, who previously owned the armor, wanted to have a nice poleaxe made in Prague too, but he died of the plague before he could do it. I'm not too certain about Brunswick and his armor, but this is certainly true because I have a copy of George's order here. Here, take it as a keepsake. And now go.
Well then, young man, how did it go?
They were spotted here, sir. Going to the east, towards Apollonia.
So to Yitchin? The bastards! And what about my goods?
Oh, they were driving so fast, it was falling off the cart.
The thieving scum. Let's hurry. To Yitchin!
Sir, I could send a message to the Yitchin captain of the guard.
Oh, it'll take too long. We'll go and get them ourselves.
Won't you be missing preparations for the wedding at home, sir?
I will. Praise the Lord Jesus Christ. If I have to choose between riding to Yitchin and listening to Dorothy's endless fashion, Henrik, stop wandering off. We won't wait for you forever.
Won't you be missing preparations for the wedding at home, sir?
I will. Praise the Lord Jesus Christ. If I have to choose between riding to Yitchin and listening to Dorothy's endless fussing, I'll take Yitchin any time. Besides, there's a nice inn along the way, the Three Cats. We can spend the night there.
I remember that place, but I'm not sure, sir, if they'll let the two of us set foot inside the door.
Oh, gnarly, that was 15 summers ago. God knows if the place is even still standing.
True. Still, we'd better keep our eyes peeled. They might not have gone to Yitchin. They could have turned off somewhere. Or something could have happened. They might have been ambushed, maybe.
Will you give over with that? I'll bet my braves they weren't ambushed. More likely we'll find them boozing at the Three Cats.
That'd surely be the best outcome, if that old dive is still standing. Let's go, then. So, St. Anthony, which way now?
While you're praying to the patron saint of lost things, go and have a look along the road, Gnarly. And you, Henry, have a look to the left.
All right, sir. But don't forget, my eyesight ain't what it used to be.
Well, that's what we have the youngster for, isn't it? Off you go.
A sack of charcoal? That could have fallen off the cart.
Found anything, lad?
There's a sack of charcoal lying in the ditch to the left of the road. The bailiff said they were driving like the devil, so maybe it fell from the cart.
Oh, that makes sense. To the left it is, then. Gnarly! Back here!
We're getting close. I can feel it in my bones, sir. You'll have the car back in no time.
I just hope we find the horses, too. Yarmilka here ain't the youngest, and I wouldn't want to drag it back home myself.
A nobleman in harness. We ain't ever had such a spectacle in these parts.
You might get to see it soon enough. The lords in this country have all gone to the dogs. Every lowborn with a bit of coin builds a house in Kuttenberg, while we live in squalor. Why do you reckon that is, lad?
That's the change in the economical situation, sir. The burghers have more rights, and they make smart use of them. They put their coin to work for them. They've got shops, baths, inns, mills, while the nobles sit waiting until Jack from Backwater Hamlet brings them 3 groschen in taxes on St. Gallus's Day.
You're right there. Only Jack hasn't even got 3 groschen these days. None of this would be happening if we had a king. And I mean a real one. Not Wenceslas or Sigismund. Oh, anywhere that's not ruled by a strong hand, all sorts of things go wrong.
Especially when you've got Moravian relatives eating you out of house and home.
Oh, hold up. This is strange. I don't see any cart tracks. What do you reckon, Gnarly?
I'm blind as a mole, sir. But it's all peculiar, right enough. Where the hell could that cart have vanished to?
Well, that's just it. They had nowhere to turn off.
I'll look up the road a bit. And you, Henry, have a look back along the road. Maybe it fell in a ditch somewhere. Who knows?
Very well, sir.
The blacksmith's cart. And someone went to a hell of a lot of trouble to hide it from the road.
Hey! I found the blacksmith's cart! Come here!
Well, now, here we have it. The blacksmith's cart.
Someone went to a lot of trouble to hide it from the road.
Of course, the goods are gone. The bastards hauled it off to the rocks. That's clear. Well, we can't let them get away with it. We'll carry on, but on foot. My old young milker would only break a leg there. And keep a sharp lookout. Something stinks here.
I told you. They got ambushed by them bastards that's on the rampage around here, sir.
Oh, be quiet. We still can't be sure of anything.
Ah, Apollonia. I spent a lot of time running around here as a young lad.
Oh, not me. This place always gave me the shivers.
God truth. I ain't got only good memories of it. One time, got my legs stuck in a crevice a bit further on. Trapped there all night I was, shitting myself with fear. It wasn't till morning that the folk from the fortress found me. The whole of Sameen was out looking for me.
See, at least you came here as a kid. It still gives me the creeps here.
Why's that, sir? It's just some rocks, ain't it?
You'd sing a different tune if you'd had the rope maker's wife as a nanny when you were little. Now, she had some tales about this place. Headless horsemen, goblins, and white ladies. Every night, we'd gather by the hearth. The old woman would sit at her spinning wheel telling stories. I'll tell you, Captain, there isn't much I'm afraid of. But when that blind old crone was croaking her tales of devils and holes to hell, with the fire crackling and the wind whistling outside the windows, and the whirring of the spinning wheel... Oh.
It's true about them devils, sir.
Shh. Wait a moment. Do you hear that?
I do. There's somebody there, sure enough.
Let's get closer.
They rolled around and gave off sparks.
What do we do now? I heard more than two voices.
I used to clamber around here as a young lad. The girls from Slattergo used to come make a fire here and jump over it. And so's their underwear wouldn't catch fire. Sometimes they'd take it off.
That's nice, Gnarly, but I don't think it's scantily clad maidens we'll be running into here. So what's that got to do with anything?
Well, there's a nice view into the gorge from up there. We only have to go back a bit, and we can get up there nicely.
Right. Henry, what are you waiting for? This is just the kind of thing we took you along for.
Sure, sir. With a bit of luck, there might be some girls there, too.
I could do without girls with voices like that. Now get going.
For fuck's sake, you was never ordained hunter. Aye, I was. Stumbled in it, in the forest chapel by Bodera. Aye, fuck he ordained you. Just 'cause old Stumble poured some pond water on your head in the woods don't mean a damn thing.
But Stumble's a priest.
Stumble
Those
is a
definitely aren't the
drunken
blacksmith's
old fool
hands.
who claims he was a priest. He can't even quote one psalm. Don't you think he'd have a better nickname than Stumble if he was a priest?
So how's it look, Sonny? How many?
I saw 3. And they don't look like Radovan's hands.
And what about my goods?
I didn't see them. It looked more like a patrol. I reckon there might be more of them hereabouts.
Seems we can't avoid a fight. I hope you're ready, Henry.
Sure am, sir.
Just watch and don't get your arse kicked like during training. So, how are we gonna do it? Do you just want to charge them, sir?
What else do you suggest?
We ought to pounce on them while we have the moment of surprise.
The words of a real man. So get ready, and we'll go for them. Nice and quick before the bastards realize what's going on.
That ain't normal. Everyone must be laughing at the wench. Why? Some people might like it. I don't know who'd like that. And did they do something? What?
I'll show you.
Good! You should have fucking stayed out!
My fingers!
Go fuck yourself!
Ready to
I'm wounded! Help me!
Teacher!
He wounded me badly!
Yeah, don't spare him! Knock your ass off! Drew blood! Yeah!
I need a bandage! Quick! There.
Oh, this day took it out of me, and no mistake.
And it ain't over yet, sir. Your goods ain't here. And none of them bastards look like the blacksmith's hands. Am I right, Henry?
Hard to say. I've never actually seen them, but I don't think it was them.
Me neither. But right past that peak is another good camping spot.
You think this was a patrol?
It makes sense. But I don't want to go assuming the worst. We might have just run into them bandits by chance.
Yeah, well, you were right, as always. Let's go, then. Are you ready, Henry?
Give me a moment.
Hurry up, lad.
We can get going.
That's just grand. Let's go then.
I thought we had everything clear, Venser. You tried to fuck with me, so until we ride out, you're gonna stick right there and keep your mouth shut.
We did everything you asked. We got the blacksmith cart and the goods.
Horse shit. You tried to fuck me. That bastard cousin of yours owned up to it.
It was his idea. I wanted nothing to do with it.
Make no difference to me, Venser. You vouched for the crooked fucker. So now, it's on you. Actually, you could consider yourself lucky. If you hadn't saved my ass that time in Colleen, I'd have goat ear skin you alive.
Bastards. You can't trust anyone in these parts. Get ready, Gnarly. We are going to parley.
Like that time at the Shani, sir?
Yes, exactly.
Only there was more of us that time, and less of them.
Oh, don't worry, there won't be a problem. They're just common thieves. Besides, I'll take young Henry with me.
What, me?
And if they're still feeling brave, you get to try out that new plaything of yours.
Ahem, gentlemen, I'm obliged to you for looking after my goods, but I'll take them back now. Just hand them over, and I'll let you go.
Oh, you must be from Samin, sir. Well, of course you can have everything back. Just as long as you ask nicely, eh? Well, how about we do things differently? You lay down your weapons, and we can all have a nice little chat. I mean, I don't intend to go murdering local lords. I just want your coin.
That's very noble of you, sir.
What are you gaping at? At them!
At them with you. Hammer them, man.
Oh, sons.
Hey!
I'll be done with you in a flash. We're gonna gut you, you whore son. There's more of them.
Help me! He won't... What now, fucker?
You're still standing. Go fuck yourself.
Should have fucking stayed out of it.
Jesus, I'm hit. We're gonna gut you, you whore son. Slice him up. They got what they deserve, the fuckers. Henry! Hey, Henry! Are you listening? Come here!
What now?
One of them bastards fled into the rocks. Chase him down and bring him back.
Did you see which way he went?
No, I had other things on my hands. Besides, you're the one who's supposed to keep watch.
I'll go and track him then.
Great. Hurry.
never like this.
I've got you now, Venser. You've nowhere to run to. Yield.
Well, why the fuck would I? It's just you against me. Besides, if I do yield, it's the rope for me anyway.
Who knows what they'll do to you? You might just get a whipping.
For robbing Simeon, that old miser. He'll have me strung up from the nearest tree. I'd be better off jumping off the cliff.
If I were in your shoes, I think I'd go for the rope. Falling to your death can be real nasty.
How would you know? Have you tried it? Although, to come up with something that stupid, you must have fallen on your head.
Well, come what may. Anything can happen. Maybe you'll get out of it somehow.
Sure, I'll get out of it. Bollocks. And I don't have to be the one who falls off the cliff. So no, I'm not going with you.
Can't you think of any other way out of this?
Well, you could let me go.
Why would I?
Maybe for coin.
Carry on.
Well, Ghouls wasn't entirely wrong. We wanted to fuck him over and take the cart to Yachin.
Only it didn't work out.
As you can see, his fellows caught us on the way. We had to pull the cart over and haul the goods up to the rocks. But before Ghouls had a chance to count the loot, we skimmed off a bit. Well, that is, my cousin Franzi did. I had enough work hauling them sacks. If you let me go, well, I'll tell you where the loot is.
And what did he take?
I don't really know. But he found something on the cart, nicely wrapped up, so he swiped it. He said it looked valuable.
So you want to bribe me with something, and you don't even know what it is?
Don't worry, it's something valuable. Franzi has a nose for these things.
All right then. Tell me where you hid it, and I'll let you go.
The thing is, I don't actually know. Well, only Franzi does. He drew himself a map with charcoal, well, so's he wouldn't forget.
So, besides some dodgy map, you actually have nothing for me?
That's not nothing. I reckon I gave you some pretty valuable information.
You do you?
So you'll let me go?
Not a chance.
But I gave you what you wanted.
No. I didn't want anything. You're the one who started talking about coin, and in the end, you gave me nothing but a story that might or might not be true. So no, I'm not letting you go. One-on-one, yeah. But it must be clear to you that you're no match for me. Even if the noose is waiting for you, it's still a more pleasant death than getting your head smashed in with a rock. And believe me, I'll do it if there's no other way.
Fuck! All right, I'll come with you. But you'll put a word in for me.
I might. As long as you don't try anything.
Promise me.
I won't promise you anything. Now come on. I've got a prisoner for you, sir.
Excellent. It all worked out quite well in the end. Gnarly will take care of this scum.
What about Gules?
He caught a few good hits, but he's alive. We'll take him with us. I need to have a strong word with him. You did a good job, youngster. You've got heart. And so you don't say I had you clambering over these rocks for nothing. Here's something for you.
Thank you, sir.
Don't thank me. You deserved it. And now, let's get that accursed cart back to Samin. Want a ride? We'll go via Troskovitz. We can drop you off there, and you won't have far to Tarkov. You ought to report back to Radovan as soon as possible about what happened with these hands.
That's all right, thanks. I want to take a look around here first.
Suit yourself, but be on the alert. Gules isn't the only one making trouble in these parts, and stop by Samin sometime. Gnarly will take you under his wing and teach you a thing or two.
Careful.
So, job done. The cart was found and driven to Lord Semin's courtyard.
Whew. That's a relief. And what happened to that pair of idiots?
It turned out they tried to rob you.
Oh. They did they?
Aye. They plotted with some robber baron called Gules and brought the cart to him.
The bastards. I should have realized they were a bit too keen on work. And how did you get the cart back?
Well, I went to Semin, and they were wondering there too where the wagon got to. So we rode out to look for it. Me, Lord Semin, and his captain, Gnarly.
Well, God's nails. And the three of you tracked them down? The whole band?
That's right. They were hiding in Apollonia, along with the cart and the goods.
Indeed. Where else? The bastards. And what about my hands?
I'm not sure. Lord Semin took them and Gules to his courtyard. We'll see how he deals with them.
I'd know what to do with them.
Don't worry. I don't think Lord Semin will let them off lightly.
Anyway, the main thing is the cart turned up. I'd be in a right mess if it didn't.
No doubt.
And you've earned a reward for your trouble. I've got just the thing for you. Some mercenary once had his cuirass repaired here, but never came back for it. Who knows what happened to him? So now it's yours. It's been through a bit, but it'll still serve for a while.
Thanks. It'll come in handy. And have you got another job for me?
Young Lord Semin's wedding is coming up, and it's got my head spinning. Look, you must have seen Agnes, the bailiff's daughter, when you were in Truscovitz. What do you think of her?
Well, young Semin is marrying her, isn't he? Why would I have my eye on her?
Don't pretend. A statue of a saint would have his eye on her. Looks ain't everything, though. She's got such a sharp tongue on her. I almost feel sorry for young Semin. And how about you, lad? Have you got some lass waiting in Sasau?
Yeah. And I hope she'll wait. Her name's Teresa. Her uncle owns a mill on the river in Ratai.
A girl from the mill? You want to watch out for them types. You might get caught up in devilry, lad. A wedding's a serious business. You're not just getting a bride, but a whole family. So you have to show them you're a man who's worth it. All the more so when you're noble-born. Old Semin wants a special sword forged for his son's wedding present.
Excellent. So what are we waiting for? Should we get to work?
Hold your horses. It can't be any old steel. This has to be a first-class job.
A blade of first-class steel?
That's right. And that's just the problem.
Ah, I see. We don't have any welded steel for that kind of sword, do we?
God's nails. You really know your stuff, youngster. And you're right. We don't have the steel for a strong sword that won't break.
I'd like to know where you're going to get your hands on some welded steel.
Relax, lad. I've got it all figured out, as it happens. There's this old hermit called Ambrose, living in Apollonia.
And he can pray for us?
God's nails, let me finish talking. The word is, he was fighting heathens years ago in faraway Andalusia, and folks say they saw this interesting broken sword in his hut. From the description, it seems our peculiar hermit has a real Toledo blade.
Welded Spanish steel? There's nothing better for a sword.
See now? You do understand. But there's a catch.
Naturally.
They say that Ambrose the Hermit has changed a lot recently. People from far and wide used to go to him for remedies and blessings. But now he won't see no one. I even heard he made a pact with the devil. And there have been other strange goings-on.
What strange goings-on?
I heard something in the tavern about some apparition. But that's all I know.
With the devil? Why would the hermit make a pact with the devil?
No idea. It might just be old wives' tales.
Where can I find the hermit?
Do I look like someone who goes to a hermit for advice? I know he has a hut somewhere in Apollonia. But you'll have to ask the Truskovitz womenfolk if you want to know more.
Right. I'll try to find out more about the hermit's sword. But in return, you'll get me invited to Samin's wedding.
If it means so much to you, why not? Come and see Betty from the Truskovitz Tavern. She knows all the gossip. She'll definitely tell you more about the hermit. But Henry, if there's any truth in that pact with the devil, don't get caught up in it. The best sword in the world isn't worth eternal damnation.